Hi, math students. This week we're going to continue in our Unit 7, How Many Packages and Groups it's called. And you're going to estimate and solve multiplication problems. Similarly to the way we've done before, you're going to do throughout this unit 2-digit numbers, multiply up to a 4-digit number by 1-digit number. I think we've done a little of that just using our break apart skills. And we're going to divide up to a 4-digit number by a 1-digit number, which we've also played with a little bit. So we're just going to refine those things. We're going to discuss ways to break the numbers apart to make the problems easier and how to keep track of all the parts. I'm also going to ask you to think up stories, like that's why I'm holding the cookies, to think of representations, and that's going to help you not make as many mistakes when you are keeping track of your groups and your items in your groups. All right, so I'm in my kitchen, so I figured for today's lesson I would use cookies. But let me show you how we're going to start with this. So on your lesson for Monday, but it also rolls into Tuesday and Wednesday, it's asking you to solve 2-digit multiplication problems and to write a story about it. And then I'm going to tell you why you need to do that. All right, so the first one we have, oh, look at this. Ooh, I don't know. We're going to get to that in just a second. Delicious. Okay. On page 443, you have this problem 53 times 24. And so when we do those 3-act tasks, we always start with make an estimate for this problem. Think about whether the answer is going to be larger or smaller than your estimate and how you know. Okay, so look at that. And if you want to pause here, I want you to try to take an estimate of that, figure out what's close to the answer so you'll know whether or not you've got it when you've got it. In case you are way off, you'll know right away. You'll recognize that the answer is not reasonable. Okay, so pause it. Otherwise, I think a lot of people right here would probably do this, just to get yourself started. And maybe to get there, maybe you think of 5 times 2, and you know that one by heart is 10. Then you go, oh wait, no, I don't have, I have 50, not 5, so I'm going to do 50 times 2. Okay, that's 100. But I actually have 10 times that many, right? I have times 20. So 10 times 100. Let's correct this right here and do our actual estimate. It'll give us 1,000. All right. So I could estimate that my number needs to be around 1,000. Now, is that too high or too low? You're right. It's too low. I might go just one step further, and maybe I would say, well, why don't I just do 4 more 50s? I mean, that's quite a bit more. Do you mind if I just do that in our heads? Okay, so 4 more 50s. 5 times 4 is 20. So 50 times 4 is 200, right? Okay, maybe that's a better estimate. Let's look at that 1,200 as our goal estimate. All right, but maybe some of you did 53 times 10 and you doubled it. I know a bunch of you are good at that. I'm sure a bunch of you did that, and that works out fine too. Okay, so however you want to estimate. All right, so next we want to do is we want to come up with a story to help us keep track of the parts. All right, so I want you to pause here and think about 53 somethings 24 times. All right, so what could you do? All right, so you pause there, but I'm going to go back to my cookies. I'm thinking of 24 as 2 dozen, right? So for me, dozens cookies. And I just happen to have this awesome cookbook with all different kinds of cookies and other yummy treats. And I thought about making, that's kind of the usual amount that you would make. This one makes 3 dozen, but usually they make about 2 dozen, and that would be 24. So maybe I'll do 24 cookies for everyone in my neighborhood There's my daughter in the background, which is 53 families. Just so happens I have exactly 53 houses in my neighborhood, as far as you know. Anyway, it works well for this story. And now I can keep track. When I start to try to multiply, I can know, did I leave some out? When I break apart, because sometimes we'll start breaking apart and then we lose track of our parts. Okay? All right, so I am going to write my story up here. And if you have a piece of paper, jot your story down. And then we are going to keep this in mind the whole way. 24 cookies. Okay, there's my story. All right, make sure you write your story when you're practicing this. All right, so now I want to solve it. All right, so we go back to that 50 times 20. All right, what does that do to my story? I have 53 families and 24 cookies for each. Now that's totally fine. I can do 50 times 20 to get started. But what did I leave out? So can you answer that? Okay, so how many more sets of 50 do I have? If I just did 50 times 20, I'm missing 4, right? Okay, so I've got 50 times 20. That's fine. I can start with that. And we already said that that was 1,000 cookies. Okay. All right. So the common error now is that we're going to think of this like we do with addition. And a lot of people are like, well, 50 times 20 and 3 times 4. Because it's 53 times 24. So a lot of people think, here we go. And we're done. 1,012 cookies. Nope. We missed a bunch, right? When we did our estimate, didn't we say we have, look, you have 4 more 50s. So that can't be right. And my estimate was 1,200, not 1,012. All right, so let's try to figure this out a little better with some other break apart strategies. Okay, so I'm going to stick with my 50 times 20 for 1,000 cookies, but then just like in my estimate, I know that I have 4 more than that, okay? Because all I gave was 20 cookies to every family. I didn't give 24. Okay. All right. So let's do 50 times the rest of that 2 dozen, which is 4. Okay. And we did that before, right? So that's 200. All right. So I have my 50 times 20 and my 50 times 4. I did this and that. Got a little left over here, don't I? I've given 50 families all of their cookies. How many more families do I need to give cookies to? 3 more. Yep, I didn't take account of the 3. And I didn't just give 4 cookies to the 3 families. I gave 2 dozen to each family. So I have to do 3 more families with 24 cookies each. All right, so there's a couple ways. You can just do straight up 3 times 24. There's my 3 more families. And they're each going to get their 2 dozen cookies. Okay? 60 plus 12. That's easy, right? We could do it that way. But you could break apart that 24 if you wanted to. That's what I did in my head. I did 3 times 20, 60. 3 times 4, 12. 60 plus 12, 72. Okay, 72. All right. So now I've gotten all my cookies to all my families, and I just add them up. Oh, my estimate was 1,200, and my actual number of cookies, total cookies, 1,272. Fantastic. Okay, so I did 50 times 20 and 50 times 4, and then I did 3 more 24s. That's all. All right, so let's see what this looks like as an array. It's going to be important if you get lost along the way. Let's make this short side our 24 cookies. C is for cookie. You got it, right? And then, oh my gosh, all 54 families. Okay, I'm going to move this over a little bit because I'm going to need space to do what I want to do. This is an open array. Keeps the concept in your mind. Okay, so 53 families. C is for cookie. Okay, so my first step, what I did is I broke apart 50 and 3, and I put it here. I have 50 houses to give the 24 cookies to, and 3 more. Okay, now I can simply do length times width, 24 times 50, and 24 times 3. But sometimes 50 times 24 is a little tough, so why don't I just break it apart? Now watch what happens. I'm going to have 20 up here and 4 here. There goes my array. Yeah. All right, so now I've got length times width for all of these 4 boxes. All right, you want to make sure that you covered all of your bases here. All right, and so then I get, just so you can see what we did here, 20 times 50 and 20 times 3 and 4 times 50, length times width, 12. All those pieces we added up together to make add those up, all the pieces inside. And this is what we've been doing since the beginning of the year. We're just doing extra steps, and you want to make sure that you don't just break apart. Common mistake, 50 times 20 and 3 times 4. That's this much of your array and this much of your array. And a whole bunch of your families are not going to get the right amount of cookies. In fact, they only got 20 cookies, and I don't even know what that 12 extra is for. Maybe I'll just eat them. Make sure you get all of them put together, okay? So that everybody gets the right amount of cookies. Now, you have an opportunity to try and experiment different ways. It says do 2 ways, but I'm happy with you finding the way that suits you the best and working on that. And this is video 1 of this lesson. So we have a little ways to go to keep practicing. All right, well, I hope that you are inspired to make cookies. And I don't really encourage anyone to eat 1,272 cookies, but you could always make 2 dozen and imagine it. All right, well, you guys have a great day, and now maybe that will make your work a little easier. All right, see you. I'm posting again on Wednesday. See you then.